So we're at that time of year where everyone's putting out their wish list of what they'd like to see improve for both Madden and college football in terms of gameplay. And we see a lot of great things listed out, detailed, and they're all very valid. One thing I'm not seeing a lot of, though, is references to the trench play. Not just the blocking, but the pass rush and the interactions. And if you asked, coaches or even players, most of them would tell you games are both won and lost in the trenches. It is the most important aspect to football. And that begs the question, has the trench play improved in Madden over the last decade plus? I decided to find out. So I fired up one of my favorite Maddens of all time, Madden 25 for the PS4, the original Madden 25, which would have been Madden 14 had it not been the anniversary year. And I dove into that gameplay with the Infinity engine, which is my favorite engine that Madden has ever ran on, to see if the gameplay that we were given a console generation ago, a previous engine, is better or worse than what we're getting in 2026 on a new console and a new engine, the Frostbite engine. I think the results are going to surprise you. Now, this is a longer video because I do extensive in-depth breakdown of every single pass rusher versus every single blocker. We have 3 plays from Madden 25 versus 3 plays from Madden 26. So it is a little bit longer. I challenge you to try to get through and watch it, and then let me know what you think in the comments section below. Is Madden 25's blocking and trench play better than Madden 26's? And do you think that in the instance that you believe Madden 26's trench play is better, do you think it reflects the 13-year gap between when the games were made? Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Thank you for checking out this video, and we'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.
Defense with a solid effort on the ground.
Yeah, we talk so much, don't we, about the passing game in the NFL, but it's still about who can out-hit the other one, and right now, the offense, they are winning that battle. Nice run. Got to give this secondary credit.
Okay, so we're going to break this down, as this is one of the best pocket and quarterback step up in the pocket that I've seen in recent memory. One of my biggest complaints with current EA games is you don't really see quarterbacks step up in the pocket. Part of the reason is because you don't really get that true pocket where the edge rushers press up on the outside and force the quarterback to actually do that. So let's take a look in slow motion what happens here. And again, I want to remind you guys, the Lions are only rushing 4 right here. They're not bringing anybody else. And I want you to pay attention to this edge rusher, this edge rusher. We get a double team block right here, and then a one-on-one right here. And the one-on-one, we're going to break it down in a moment here, but focus on the edge rushers on the outside first. As we go slow, look at them get off the ball and immediately get pushed upfield. Now, this isn't just an instant run by the offensive tackles. They get an interaction with the edge, but they get pushed upfield just like you're supposed to. They get the leverage, and look what's happening. He pushes upfield. Look at on the right side over here. Pushed upfield, and now he's disengaging to go after the quarterback right here. This is what you see happen in real life. And then you also have the push. He doesn't get disengaged. He does not get disengaged right here. He does not get disengaged from the left tackle, but he's able to create pressure from pushing him back into the quarterback. This is one of my biggest complaints with both College Football 26 and Madden 26 and the last several Madden games in general is you don't get push. You don't get a lot of push. It's either they're in a blocking animation and then there's a shed, or they get stonewalled and never create any pressure. This right here is the push that needs to happen. There's no shedding he creates pressure via collapsing the pocket. And then look what happens. The quarterback, Geno Smith, steps up into the pocket. This is absolutely beautiful. From a game that would have been called Madden 14. So it's almost 13 years old. Steps up into the pocket. Now, the quarterback does have a wide open check down right here. It's Geno Smith. I believe he was a rookie at this time, and just makes a bad read and doesn't throw. He's falling away. Looks like he's throwing it up over here, and it's an incomplete pass. So we can ignore, that part. But the rest of this is really good. Now we're going to focus on the two defensive tackles. So we have a double team block right here and a one-on-one right here. The double team block, there's not much to really dissect here because it is a double team block. I love the blocking logic. 64 comes over. I believe that's Nick Mangold, and he helps him out. 74 is Mangold, and 64 comes over and helps him out and creates a good double team block right there. But even then, in this double team block, we don't get that little happy dance animation that happens in current EA games, where they just shuffle their feet in a little happy dance and no one moves either direction, right? When you're looking at this right here, he is still getting push upfield against this double team. He gets the inside, and right here, look at this push. He's pushing him. He's not making much headway. But considering the double team block started, we could say at the 14-yard line? Yep, right here. He gets engaged at his back feet are at the 13-yard line. You could call it the 13. Is his back feet are at the 13, and he's still able to work himself up to the 16. So he does push up field 3 yards. You don't see that in current game. They just don't do it. Now we're going to switch over here. I believe this is in Ndamukong Suh. In a one-on-one versus, that's Sue versus somebody. No idea who. Doesn't really matter. And this is definitely interesting. Let me make sure I get over here. So let's watch this a little bit more. It's a one-on-one. Sue comes upfield. And where does the interaction begin? Sue's at the 15-yard line. We're going to say his back feet are at the 15-yard line of this when this interaction begins with the offensive lineman. And the offensive lineman, you can see the hand fighting here. This makes sense. Look at the bottom of their feet. I think this is the important part, is they do this little happy dance currently. And they're just up, down, up, down, up, down. Look at this. This looks better. There's no happy dance. It's hand fighting, and Sue's trying to rip away, and eventually he does. He doesn't get much push up the field, but you can see him trying to throw the offensive lineman away, and the offensive lineman's doing a great job, and then he eventually does get leverage. It's not an instant shed. I think this is beautiful. It's not an instant shed. He gets the rip move, and he gets, I think that's the rip move, and he gets underneath and through the block. This was a realistic blocking animation, not a stonewall. There's movement going on. There's fighting, and look at their feet. Locked in, not that happy shuffle that you see now. This is one of the best blocking interactions I've seen in a Madden game in a very long time, along with pocket formation and the quarterback stepping up. This is beautiful.
Hill's going to get set in the slot for this snap. On 3rd and 12. Looking to the right side and throwing. Complete. The tackle is made short of the first, and that'll bring up 4th down.
You're near midfield. It's 4th down. What do? I got the answer right here. You punt it. Play field position. Make the other offense drive the length of the...
Okay, so let's break this down. Again, this is another pass play versus a four-man rush from the Lions, no pressure. And I'm not controlling the defensive line. I didn't want to have any impact on this. So this is just me letting the CPU do everything for whoever I was controlling. I believe I was on Nick Fairley, if I remember correctly. Not really paying attention, mostly just watching everything happen on the field. So let's look at what happens here. 5 people in the block for rushers from the Lions. And let's take a look. We got another double team block from Mangold and whoever the left guard is, number 64. And then we get another one-on-one against Sue. And then we got the edge rushers coming outside. Now this is another realistic pocket. If we're being honest here, this is a pocket. And it doesn't look unrealistic whatsoever. And let's focus on what we got going on right here. This interaction, this edge versus that right tackle. It's interesting to see kind of what happened compared to last time. The right tackle approaches it differently. So he's going to get beat and he goes down to the ground. We do trying to almost cut block him here. And we do see that before. Is it a cut block, chop block? I don't know the correct terminology, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. He goes down to the ground, and this actually makes the edge rusher go backwards and have to step, and realign and go. When we look at the edge on the other side of the screen here versus the left tackle, comes upfield. Left tackle pushes him off. Look at this. Holds him off, doesn't give up the outside leverage, so he pushes him and comes through with a move to the inside. That is organic line play, in my opinion. Again, this was on the Infinity Engine, real-time physics. This is organic movement, line play, realistic. Outside's not there, so he comes back with a move to the inside. Again, I'm not controlling. This is the CPU. And he wins on the inside and creates some pressure. When we go over here, the double team block. Again, typically not much there on a double team. He's still kind of moving. He's able to disengage. You don't see a lot of the disengaging. Currently, they get locked into it. If you've ever played the chase and tackle drill, where you got to beat the pass blockers and get to the quarterback and sack him for the minicamp drill, you've probably had the instance where you get locked into a blocking animation and you guys will go around in a circle. You cannot disengage. It's just not happening. You're just locked into it. I like the fact that I believe it's Nick Fairley, decides he's no longer going to push up and he's able to disengage and go and come around to the inside. I think that's really realistic. I also love seeing, again, Geno Smith. This is just something that's so beautiful. You don't see a lot of this in the current college football games, Madden games. And I dissect a lot of gameplay. How often do you guys see the quarterback, his back foot is planted right here. Back foot is planted. And he steps up. It's not really stepping up in the pocket from a pressure, but quarterbacks step up in general most of the time. He steps up and throws it right before he gets hit. Now we have the one-on-one at Sue. We need to break down here. Another one-on-one. Let's see what happens on this one. Pushes up right at the 40-yard line is where we're going to say his feet are when he gets locked in. And we got some hand fighting there. But again, there's no happy dance shuffle. They are both fighting and working. And you can see the body positioning. Look at let me get rid of this line here. Look at his body. He's trying to push. Look at this angle. They're fighting and they are pushing. And he does end up moving forward a couple yards. I forgot to click record to watch this real time, but we're going to break it down for you. This was just another pass play. Super sim. I'm just playing defense, not controlling anybody on the defensive line. Let's go into instant replay here. You guys can see we're going to break this down. This is the very next possession. First pass play from the Jets. First play on the possession. Let's go ahead and break this down. So again, a 4-man pass rush from the Lions, which during this era made a lot of sense. They had a good, strong front 4 versus 5 offensive linemen. Again, pretty standard, right? And let's see what happens here. Number 1, pause. We'll pause right here. This is another really good pocket. This is consistently happen right now. Very good pocket. And we got another, we're going to work our way from left to right. So let's look at the edge rusher against the left tackle. Let's go ahead and move over right here. Edge rusher comes upfield. Left tackle gets an engagement here. But he's still pushing him back. Did you see that? He gets engaged. Boom. Right here. We're going to call this his back feeder at the 17. And look at him push. And he gets up to the 15, but also pushes inward towards the quarterback while continuing to try and break free. That is what we want to see. That's that push that doesn't feel or seem to be in current EA football games. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nick Fairley. So he gets mangled, and number 64 is right there. They consistently are double teaming Nick Fairley. It seems to be the game plan there. Now you can say what you want about 64 sliding over to the right behind. You know, whatever we want to call about that. But either way, he still gets, so Fairley gets to the inside against Mangold, but instead of getting a free run to the quarterback, 64 is right there to pick him up. So effectively, you know, it's not the same style of double team block that we had in the previous plays, but it was effective as Fairley had to go through another player to get to the quarterback. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ndamukong Suh. Gets locked in at the 18-yard line. And look at him push. Look at him push into the right guard and drive him back. And then he starts to do the Reggie White throw him to the side toss, right? But he's driving him back. There is no stagnation in this. He gets upfield, pushes him, throws him to the side. He's about to get a clean run to the quarterback. And then what created this quicker throw? Well, that's the edge rusher over here against the right tackle. And he comes upfield. He goes. And this is very organic and natural looking yet again. I am so impressed in this. He comes up and just kind of pushes off and creates the pressure. He gets him with a speed rush. Speed rush around. All three of these have been unique and different, but have been ideal as far as what has played out. Geno Smith hits, and this was also really nice too. He gets it, steps back foot is planted right when his back foot plants. Watch right here. He backs up, back foot plants, and he lets it rip. Planted, lets it rip. This is absolutely beautiful. I feel like Madden 25 PS4 OG version, what would have been Madden 14, is highly slept on for what they were doing right with the Infinity Engine. It's just my opinion. All right, so let's break this down. And I'm trying to do the exact same thing I did in Madden 25, where I am only having the front four. We're only rushing four, and I am not controlling anyone on the defensive line. I have a guy selected, but I'm not doing any input. Trying to make everything the exact same. And this is the exact same settings: 100 speed threshold, all pro, same exact penalties, same exact slider changes. And let's look and see how this pass rush looked as we break it down. So when we break it down from left to right, let's see what we got over here. So first thing I will say, if we are being fair, now it has its issues, but this is a good pocket. This is a decent pocket. No complaints about that on this particular play. So yeah, we're going to be fair. Apples to apples here. Good pocket formation. And let's continue to look at this right here. So where do they get engaged? So right here at his back feet are, I mean, we could say it's the 30, 1 foot's close. I mean, we're going to call it the 31. We're going to call it, or excuse me, that's the 33. Excuse me. So the 33-yard line is where the engagement occurs. And let's see what happens here. He does get some push, a little bit of a push, and then the running back is right there to help out. But you can see even here, this is the dancing that I'm talking about that happens. Look at this, just back and forth, and all he has to do is, who is this, Oladejo? His back's to the quarterback. His back is to the quarterback. And look at this little dancing shuffle that they get into. I mean, this is what and then right here, Stroud's already released it, but he goes and gets into a blocking interaction with Joe Mixon, which doesn't make any sense to me. Let's go ahead and continue on the line and look right here. Who is this? Okay, one of the better defensive tackles in the league at Simmons. Let's see what happens here with him. All right, so slow motion. He gets it's going to be a double team. So the interaction occurs at, it's going to be close to the 35. We can give him the benefit. I mean, we can call it the 35. We could call it the 34. We'll call it the 34 since, he's not at the 35. His feet are closer to the 34. We're going to call it at the 34. I'm trying to get a good angle here. And he does get a good move, but he doesn't win off of it. So he has a good move to go to the inside. And, I mean, the offensive lineman is just holding him. He does get some push. Now, if that's not a hold, I don't know what a hold is. But did we get the flag? No, because the flags aren't really, they don't call holding in this game, right? Holding is set to 55, by the way. This is a hold. I'm sorry. 77, that's a hold. This interaction between Simmons and 77 and 78 is actually really good, though, overall. I do like that he comes to the inside. He tries to win. The 77 holds on to him pretty well, and he gets double teamed. Now, when we look at the ratings gap between 77 and Simmons, then we're probably going to say, I'm not sure that he should have been that well blocked. But either way, the fact that he continues to push forward and he does get upfield a little bit despite the double team, despite the holding, is nice. But at the same time, he is starting at the 34 and he only gains 2 yards. And he's one of the best players in the league. So take that for what you will. Let's go over here. And we got a linebacker rushing, so we're going to be a little bit easier on this one since it wasn't a true defensive tackle. But he's standing up, so you'd think he's going to come in with a little bit of, push, right? He's standing up, he gets a running head start, and they get locked into this. He does go down to the ground. I'm actually very okay with that. We saw this in Madden 25 as well. That makes sense to me. This is a great animation and occurrence that played out right there. I am very happy with that. I think that's being fair. And if we come over to the edge rusher right here, see what the edge rusher does. Rushes upfield, and they get locked in. Where do they get connected at? Right here. His feet are at the 32. He's going against Howard. And I want you to see the back legs. There's no leverage there. It's not really any push, not trying to get low. It's a bunch of hand fighting, and he's not getting any push. He eventually is only getting upfield through doing some moves. He's not getting any claps in the pocket, and there's really just nothing there. Stroud didn't have any pressure on this, right? You go back to the plays we looked at on Madden 25, and Geno Smith, he had pressure coming right there on all three of those plays. When you look at this one with Stroud, he gets rid of this ball. He's had it for a while, and there's nobody sniffing him. One of the 4 pass rushers is on the ground. He has all day to throw. This is an issue with the pass blocking. There's no real pass rush in this game. It's all insta-sheds or misblocking. There's no organic feel, collapse in the pocket, push in the pocket. This is one play. Let's go ahead and break down some more.
And the Texans, first down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
All right, we're not cherry-picking plays here because I didn't cherry-pick plays on Madden 25. We're just doing pass plays as they happen. So let's go ahead and break this down. We'll go from left to right, kind of like we've been doing. And let's see what happens. So he does get engagement there, but it's like he's rushing upfield. He is getting momentum. And he hits the left tackle. Back feet are at the 43, 42. It's tough to say because the center logo. We'll call it the 40. Probably the 42. We'll call it the 42. And his momentum is just stopped. And he gets... This is the animation. He's not getting anywhere close to the quarterback. They're just locked in. Even though he's running upfield. Okay. Now, I believe when I saw this happen in real time, this actually looked pretty good. This is, I believe, T'Vondre Sweat. Yes, it is. So let's see what happens here. This looked like he had a really good bull rush when I saw it happen in real time. Let's see. He comes up and he pushes. Yeah, this is really, really good. I do like this. He, even against the double team, big T'Vondre Sweat comes up and he plows both of them back into Stroud. This is great. I want to see more of this. This is fantastic. And we're going to go over here to number 71. Let's see what happens here. He's going to run up and get locked in. And you see the hand fighting, but no push. So their feet, they interlock at the 50-yard line. And at this point, it's just hand fighting. He does jump, which I like. But if you compare what's going on here between the defensive and offensive line, the interactions and how things are being done compared to what was going on in Madden 25, what one looks better to you? Let's go over here to this edge rusher. We'll swing it around to this side. Pushing upfield, gets right in, and he gets drove back. This one, I don't mind this so much. This looks decent because he tries to come up and he gets grabbed and he gets thrown to the outside and pushed. This looks better than what happened on the left side over here. You're going to say, well, what's the difference, SGN? Well, the difference is this guy grabs him and he doesn't drive him. They get in this little lockage and they slide. Look at this, sliding. Whereas 71 throws back the edge rush over here. He holds him and he throws him. So 2 out of the 4 looked really good. The other 2 out of the 4 just make you kind of scratch your head. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the blocking in this game.
8 yards on the pickup, brings up 2nd and 2 at the 41-yard line.
All right, let's break this down. This is another pass play. We're not cherry picking. This is just the very next play that they ran. And we're going to break this down left to right. And we are going to move over here. And let's see what happens here when we break this down in slow motion. So they get connected at the 45. Now, Stroud does have a quick release here. So this isn't going to be as easy to dissect because he does get rid of it so fast. But we can still kind of see what's going on here. This is another time where he gets an interaction and he ends up with his back facing the quarterback, damn near. It's just so much hand fighting and no bottom leverage push from their legs. And we go right here with Sweat. This time, I do like that because the very last play, he just bull rushed the absolute living crap out of both of those guys. This time, facing double team again, and he ends up on his ass. So I do like that. That's back-to-back plays where what happened between Devondre Sweat and his double team blockers, 2 completely different outcomes, both organic in nature, in my opinion. I like that. I think both of those plays between Devondre Sweat and the blockers were really, really good. Now we got Jeffrey Simmons. Let's see what happens here. And this is what's so weird, and this happens all the time too. He comes up and he interacts with the guard. His back foot, one of them's at the, what is that, the 42? The other one's at the 40. We're going to call it the 42. And he drives the right guard back another 2 yards. Another yard, really. He gets up. Yeah, we'll call it 2 yards. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, 45. And then, out of the blue, even though he has all that momentum, the right guard is able to just stop him. No more push. And they begin the hand fighting. That doesn't make sense to me. He's a 95 rated overall defensive tackle. Literally one of, if not the best in the game. And you're telling me he's going to get momentum? He's going to start pushing back a lineman who is then just going to suddenly be able to get his back feet in with momentum going against him and stop Simmons from going up the field any further, and they're going to start a hand fighting battle. That makes no sense. And let's look over here. This one hasn't been good all game. The outside over here, he's going to run on push-up field. Not much to dissect there because Stroud got rid of it so quickly. Again, you also have to wonder, like, there was no pressure on Stroud on 2 of these. And he's just getting rid of the ball lightning quick. He's got rid of the ball, and every single pass rusher is on their ass or getting blocked. Now, I understand quick throws happen, but that's the issue. You don't get pressure in this game. People complain about completion percentages being so high. Well, you can't get pressure because the quarterbacks either throw it right away or they have all day to throw. Either way, because you can't get pressure, because pressure is only generated from an insta-shed. You don't get that natural push pocket collapse. I mean, in my opinion, when you compare the two, there's a clear winner and clear loser. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, y'all. Peace.